I got 5:30. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. 1.2, Pledge of Allegiance, moment of silence. Mr. Matt Hodges. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
1.3, mission statement, Ms. Walker.
Good evening, everyone. Beaufort County Schools will provide quality educational programs and services to ensure student academic and vocational success.
Thank you, both of you. 2.1, approval of the agenda. Y'all have had it for a couple of days, board.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we got a set of minutes on 3.1. You should have had time to review.
I've got a question about one item in there.
What do you got? Which
Item 6.
Item 6?
Where it starts out, I'm okay, and where it ends up, I'm okay, but I'm not sure about the middle. In item 6, we said after discussion, the board agreed that they did not follow that particular policy. And then at the end, it says the board agreed they would follow the policy, but I'm not sure about the middle. In the particular sentence that we were dealing with that day, I'm not sure about the meaning. We said we may use the evaluation process and guidelines established by the State Board of Education, including the rubric for evaluating North Carolina superintendents, or, you know, that part. And I just want to make sure we're talking about, when we're talking about the guidelines set forth by the Board of Education, we're talking about this, and which includes the rubric, and we're not talking about, which is a tool, which is not what something else we're talking about. Do you read me?
No, I'm completely
Okay.
confused now. I know I'm completely confused because I was.
TW, at the last meeting, we talked about the fact that regarding the evaluation, the board used the other. I think what he's talking about.
Well, that's my second item there.
Yeah.
We're,
I thought he might be
The other
talking about,
process.
the board agreed they would follow the policy as written. Which policy, the or the original 7805?
The original 7805 has both and the or in the first sentence.
yeah, but I think
Right.
my dispute is what the or means. I think the or by the sentence means this from the State
The
Department
or
of Public
is
Instruction.
whatever the board as a whole decides.
Not that you can change the whole board policy. So consequently, I'm at a dilemma of what it means when we say at the end, last sentence, the board agreed to follow the policy. I need to know the definition at
Well, we
this point.
didn't. We really didn't vote, so it didn't matter because the policy is already on the thing, so it's not on the, it weren't on the agenda to be.
I guess my question is, do we have a dispute about what the policy says? I know what I think it says. And do we have differing opinions of board members on that?
Well, that meeting's come and gone. If you want to change the minutes, you're talking about the minutes at this moment.
I'm just trying to figure out what it means.
Light your mic up, please.
I thought we were going to leave the policy as such, and we were going to discuss it in the spring prior to the next evaluation.
That's what I brought
That's
up,
what,
Terry.
that's
Yeah,
what we
I thought
said.
that was the whole board
That we would
consensus.
move on for
Right.
it for now, and
'Cause
in the
we're-
early spring, which would be long before we needed to consider a new
Right.
evaluation, if we decided we wanted to do to retool the policy or follow it more explicitly,
Right.
then we could make that decision after a lot more discussion.
Well, does this sentence, the board agreed they would follow the policy as written, is that a true statement or in flux?
I don't think it's an untrue statement.
No.
I think
But you're not changing the policy. We didn't change the policy at all from what it was.
Well, we haven't changed the policy, for sure, true.
So why
But
don't you
our-
if you
but
want to change the
have we
minutes,
changed this board's adherence to the policy?
why don't you if you want to do anything, I would just strike the board agreed to follow the written policy.
Right.
Just leave it at that.
And
Just
then-
strike that last sentence. I mean, that would be written and corrected.
And then we'll hash out what the policy is in the spring.
Yes. Yeah.
'Cause-
vote for that.
Well, I think it's clear what the policy is. It's just a matter of what we're gonna do.
Yeah, but we're talking about the minutes at this
Right.
moment,
Yes.
not
I
the
know,
policy.
I know, but I'm trying to understand the minutes.
Well,
I don't know what we're saying exactly.
Well, if you want to do that, just strike the board agreed to follow just strike that last sentence, and then we'll do a motion to approve the minutes. I see where you got confused on the last one, the last sentence.
I move
Nope.
to accept what you just said.
All right,
Second.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No,
All right.
for reasons given.
We're going to 4.1, NCAT, Beginning Teacher of the Year, Superintendent Dr. Matthew Cheeseman has got this. NCCAT, not NCAT, sorry. That's two different things.
Before we get to that, we do have a breaking news update. I'd ask Ms. Vicki Hamill to please stand, our Director of CTE. And I'm excited to announce that through Ms. Hamill's efforts, Beaufort County Schools has been awarded a CTE modernization and support grant in the tune of $104,289. That will cover support systems for all CTE programs over the next 3 years. Ms. Hamil, thank you so much for what you're doing for students in Beaufort County. It's really very much appreciated. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, if Ms. Brittany Taylor from John Small Elementary School is present, I would ask you to please step forward. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Ms. Taylor. All right, so you can stand and face the crowd here. So, Ms. Taylor is the Beaufort County representative for the North Carolina Center for the Advancement of Teacher Teaching, which is the Beginning Teacher Award. So congratulations to you. The Beginning Teacher of the Year process was developed to honor beginning teachers and to retain teachers who show promise as excellent teachers and education leaders in North Carolina public schools and public charter schools. And as the Beaufort County Teacher of the Year, Beginning Teacher of the Year, she is now eligible to qualify and receive as the state winner, but you're currently the Beaufort winner. I just want to make sure we know this. I kind of lured people on last year, but you in fact have the opportunity as the state winner to receive a $5,000 cash prize, because we know you might win. Remember who stood next to you, right? Participation as the winner, you would go to the Go Global North Carolina trip in 2026. You would also receive instructional supply funds for your classroom needs. As a runner-up, you might receive a $2,000 cash prize, and all finalists would actually receive travel expenses and subsidy costs to go to the regional conference. So, on behalf of the Board of Education behind me, we'd like to say thank you so much for choosing Beaufort County. You want to introduce your family for a moment? We'd love to meet them. Family, come on over.
Yeah, come on. It's what makes her so great to have that support.
Someone's representing here. All right, Ms. Taylor, if you'd like to introduce your family.
Hello, everybody. This is my son, Axon.
Oh.
Hi, Axon. This is my aunt Linda. This is my aunt Sheila.
Yeah.
My aunt Antoinette. My significant other Anthony. And my grandmother, Miss Lisa.
Yeah. news tonight.
Are you ready for the 4.2 Principal Appreciation Month?
Yes, sir.
All right, you got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know that our schools are just such amazing places, and leadership absolutely matters. And it is National Principal Month. And we take this time to really recognize and honor our principals, when in fact this is something we should do every single day. But tonight, I'm just really here to celebrate the leaders of our buildings, the people who are making it happen. And these are the people who, in their professional world, this work bleeds into their personal world. And so there's not a principal in the building here tonight that doesn't look at their school as a sense of family. And every principal here tonight sometimes prioritizes this work over their family. And that's because of the love of the children that they have inside the building, and of course the employees that work with them. But you have incredible principals, incredible leadership, and so I'm here tonight just to honor them and thank them on behalf of the board. And so we'll start with Dr. Patricia Horton, who is now in her 4th year at Snowden Elementary School. Dr. Horton, congratulations and thank you for the work that you do for our kids each and every day. All right, here we go. Can I get a picture? Thank you. You want to go over there? We're going to ask all our principals to stand off to the side. Get a really great group photo. In her 5th year at Charleston Primary School, Principal Lynn Whittington. All smiles, Ms. Whittington.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for what you're doing today for kids. Can we get a photo? No.
Picture.
Come on, photo op. Here we go. Awesome.
Doesn't seem like it.
All right, Miss Kelly Makepeace, year number 3, Clackamas Middle School. Now, come around, everybody. So Miss Makepeace is 3rd year at CMS, 4 years at John Small, and 2 years at P.S. Jones. If I'm doing quick math, you're close to 10, but you're in your 9th year as a principal, right? So congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it.
Dr. Makepeace.
All right, in his 3rd year at Southside High
Dr.
School,
Makepeace.
Mr. Justin Holt.
All right.
Congratulations to you, sir. Thanks, sir. Very excited. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do. All right. Thank you. In her 2nd year at Eastern Elementary School, Principal Lisa Taylor. Hey, Ms. Taylor. Congratulations. If y'all want to start lining up and figure it out, all right. In her 2nd year at John Cotton Taylor, Miss Suzanne Brantley. Great, as I understand, this is your 32nd year in education. Congratulations.
32nd.
Impressed.
I'll tell you what, 90% of the
I think I made 5.
In her 2nd full year at John Small, Leanne Swinton. Thank you so much. In year number 2 at P.S. Jones, but I believe the 16th year as principal, Ms. Alicia Moss. Ninth. In her 40th year.
Gosh, you just turned 50.
Should have been 10 years old.
Yeah.
Returning back to Washington High School, a man that we could not live without, Dr. Michael Swinton.
He just couldn't get enough of us.
I'm glad to have him back.
Me too.
In her 13th year at Early College High School, Miss Emily Pate. In her 4th full month as principal at Bank Elementary School,
Jim Bissett.
Miss Jim Bissett. Now, my understanding, 4 months as principal, 17 years in the building, correct? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
Awesome. In her 4th year at Northeast Elementary School, Ms. Paula Sherman. And Ms. Sherman's been at Northeast even before they built Northeast, right?
That is correct.
Congratulations. So happy for you.
She was at Bellhaven, Elementary, and then moved over.
So how long has she been with Butler County Schools?
Paula, how many years total? How many years total? Because you were at Bellhaven Elementary.
I'm right, I'm 31.
31. And now in her 5th year at Northside High School, Ms. Tracy Nixon. And Ms. Nixon was at P.S. Jones for about 9.5 before that. 21 total years. Holy cow, congratulations. All right, so now just stand right here for a moment. All right, she'll be right there. She'll be right there. Ladies and gentlemen, each and every year, Wells Fargo sponsors the Wells Fargo Principal of the Year Award. And I'd like to introduce you to Beaufort County Schools Principal of the Year, Tracy Nixon. So excited for you. So this process started nearly 40 years ago. And in short, they've had 264 regional award recipients. Over 3,364 local Wells Fargo Principals of the Year have participated in this program. And we actually had a committee this year. Sue Tidd with United Way, Jay Martin with the Rich Company, Stuart O'Neill with Edward Jones Investments, and Kelly Shanafelt with the Beaufort County Arts Council. Each principal participated in a rigorous interview and application process, and that committee came out unanimous that Tracy Nixon is the 2024-2025 Principal of the Year. So congratulations to you. And I see that your family is here. So here is a token of appreciation from the board. Can I get a picture with you? Would you like to introduce your family?
Who is that guy?
Do we know this dude?
Good sitting right there. Can we get a picture of them?
Okay, this is my dad.
Mike.
And Ms. Nixon, if you can go join your principal fellows there, can we go?
Good to see you.
We miss you too.
Huh?
I bet he don't, he just misses the people, he don't miss the job at all.
Scrunch in.
Oh, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to play something else. So as the principals are sitting down, number one, that's an amazing group. amazing group of talent that there is. But I'm gonna ask another quick question out of this group, and I think I've been here long enough to know most of you, or i.e. went to school with you. So if you either went to a Beaufort County school or came through the Beaufort County pipeline to be a principal or a higher educated, would you please stand? Look at this. That's an amazing feat for Beaufort County, and for the ones that didn't, I'm sorry you didn't grow up here, but now you're working here, and hey, you're living the life. So some of us just all grow up here and stay here. So thank you. Thank y'all for every day, your actions and what you do, because I know you deal with a ton more than educating kids on an everyday basis that you don't have to sign up for. So thank you.
And Tracy Nixon will compete regionally for the Principal of the Year of the Northeast RESA. And should she advance past that, then she would compete as one of the 8 regional Principals of the Year. And we just wish her great luck in doing so. Congratulations.
5.1, public comment. We have none. So, Mr. Height, you're going to be up. 6.1, Washington Elementary School project update. Board, you have a attachment on your list. Mr. Height, good evening, sir. How are you? Yes, sir.
Fine, thank you, sir.
Hope things are going well with our project.
Things are going well. We're on schedule. We have we've advertised the project for bid. We've gotten interest from several bidders. We have a pre-bid conference scheduled for next Wednesday, the 23rd at 3 o'clock at the central office. And following that, 2 weeks following that, on November 13th, we will open bids for the new school. So we're on schedule. We've got some interest, and we're looking forward to that.
Is bid opening in your office?
It's at central office on Small Road. What I'm here for tonight is to ask the board's permission to take what we call alternate bids for products and parts that our maintenance department and our technology and innovation departments would like to see, because they have established a standard. There are reasons on this handout. There are 8 reasons listed for why we would want to take an alternate bid. Now, what that would mean is that we would have a base bid for this is the price of the school. And for example, we would like to use Corbin Russwin brand lock sets, and we'll list that on the bid form. And the reason that we do that is because that's our system standard, that's our keying standard. We don't want to accept another brand. Now, we can accept another brand, and the purpose of the alternate bid is to, okay, if it's more money to go with our standard, the bid is X. So we would add X to that base bid to get the product that we want. And I have listed the reasons that we would choose to ask for an alternate bid in accordance with NCGS 133.3. It's a specific statute that allows this to be done. But you would need to approve these 7 areas of items and manufacturers that are on this list, which include hardware, restroom partitions, certain food service equipment, certain brand of flooring, plumbing fixtures, mechanical equipment, and electrical and technology equipment by brand.
Okay. I've got one question. Is this pretty much the same things you put in the other 2 schools you built over P.S. Jones and JCT?
Yes, many of these are.
Okay.
And these are in consultation with facilities and technology.
That's my question. Anybody else got a question for Jim?
It's not a question, it's a statement. I'm familiar with the floor. I am not familiar with any of these other companies and what they do and why they are considered better than others. So I don't mind voting for it, but in this situation, I feel like I just have to trust your judgment because there's so many things on here. I'm familiar with Train, I'm not familiar with Belimo, I'm not familiar with so many of these other companies that, as TW asked you, if these are products that are tried and true, that's fine, but I also understand if you can find an alternate product that is also tested and proven true, I don't have a problem with you saving us money either. You know, the old saying, you get what you pay for, it's not always true. You don't have to necessarily pay more money to get a good product.
Well, I do know on item number 7, I do, not like
You
you.
would know
I
that
do
one.
know that one. And everything he has listed there does, in the long run, keeps us saving money, because I've seen the switchgear in other schools, so.
And I know item number 4, and I know that Tarkett is one of many companies that makes a commercial floor for schools, hospitals, and offices. So it doesn't have to be Tarkett. That's just so you're gonna specify this, or you already have on the bid, is that right?
That's correct. And what you will receive after the bids are opened is an apparent low bidder. They'll list these items in alternates. You may or may not want to accept any or all of them.
Okay,
And I may have additional information for you
okay.
after the bid, after discussing these with the low bidder. I would expect to see many of these, the alternate price for these to be a 0. That is typically what we would see. A no cost change, but if there is a cost change, that is certainly something that we would discuss. And if we believe that the value is there, then it would be your decision to accept it or not.
Anybody else got a question?
Mr. Chair,
Makes sense.
Yes.
I don't think we as board members are capable to question about
Nope.
No,
these list of items here. This gentleman here has been in the business for years,
gotta trust
and,
him.
and we've used him before, and he hasn't led us wrong, so I don't see why we should start questioning him now.
Yeah, I think we have to trust him, and then trust when you come back, I would imagine you would say, they're recommending product A. I have not had success with that product, so I'm gonna recommend you don't approve that one. Isn't that right? You would be telling us if it's a product, if one of the bidders recommends a product because it's a lot cheaper, but you haven't had success with that, I would expect you to tell us you have not seen success.
Right. And the process would be if the Sloan flush valve alternate is $35,000. The question to the bidder is, okay, well, what is the base bid? And he would say, or she would say, the base bid is Jones Brothers flush valves. Well, Mr. Stokes would say, you know, Mr. Architect, we tried that and we didn't have much success. So
Right.
at that point, that would be the reason for you to want to pay the additional money for the type of flush valve that Mr. Stokes would like to see continue to be used in the school system.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, got a motion?
Move
I have a
approval.
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Hyde, is this standard to ask for alternates at this point during a project like this?
Yes, it is. And typically, each school district that we work for has different preferred alternates that they wish for us to bid. So these have been vetted and are suggested by Mr. Stokes and technology.
With the timeline, is it possible for us to look at this a little bit longer, or do we need to vote on
We
it
need to go ahead and get
tonight?
this going, because he's looking for bids, November 13th. So, all right, got a motion?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
move that we.
got a second by Mac? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right,
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
7.1, school improvement team presentations. First up for the evening is our principal of the year,
Yay.
Miss Tracy Nixon, and the home of the Panthers, and my alma mater. I won't say the year, because she was a little ahead of me.
Just so you know, we have high expectations. And you always meet them, so.
Go ahead,
All
Miss
right.
Nixon.
So, good evening. I'm here to discuss the good things happening on the north side of the river and tell you what our academic focus is for the current school year. And I'm going to start with our strengths. Currently, we have 381 students enrolled and we're 100% staffed. Our school moved from a 66 to a 67 in the overall performance status, earning a C status. Our goal this year is to move 3 points to earn a B. We just received word that we have exited TSI status for having an underperforming subgroup based off last year's test data, so therefore we're no longer under the federal sanction, so that's really good news. Our students had growth in English 2, Math 1, English 3, and biology. Our students last year were offered more than $2 million in scholarships upon senior graduation. Our graduation rate sits at 95%. Northside has the largest number of students take at Beaufort Community College classes out of the 3 traditional high schools. And last year, we had 85 students who took college classes while in high school. 10 of those students graduated with their associate's degree, and 14 of those students graduated with a CTE credential, and 11 of those earned a criminal justice certificate that was only offered to students at Northside. We offer 10 different student clubs that provide our students with experiences to compete and become leaders outside of the classroom. FBLA, Science Olympiad, and Envirothon all competed at the district and state level, and FBLA was able to travel to Orlando this summer to compete at the national level. Our Beta Club has been awarded the 2023-2024 School of Distinction based off the number inducted and for the large number of volunteer hours that were completed by our students. Our athletic programs are thriving at Northside. We have 22 sports on the books, and we're fortunate to have added ladies golf this year and flag football. And as of yesterday, the ladies golf was crowned as conference champions in their first ever women's golf team. They head to nationals in Goldsboro, or regional, next Monday. And I'm sure they'll continue to make us proud. I also have to brag on the softball and baseball teams for making it to the state competition back in May of this year. Both teams played really hard. It's hard to get to that level, and we're very proud of them and the effort that took to get there. Our ROTC program is currently in good standing. We've moved out of probation due to increased enrollment in their program and having the ability to have 2 instructors. Northside was voted the best high school in Beaufort County, and the Washington Daily News' Best of the Pamlico, as well as having best high school teacher and principal for 2023-24. And our goals for this school year are to continue to increase our proficiency and growth scores in English 2, Math 1, 3, and biology. We want to increase our ATC scores by incorporating school-wide vocabulary words and daily lesson plans, and we're also participating in the ACT boot camp in February that helps our students prepare for the test. We're integrating Bloom's technology and depth of knowledge into daily lesson plans and activity to engage students in more meaningful conversation. We're going to participate in 4 professional development staff trainings that focus on developing engaging and rigorous lesson plans that will increase student engagement and challenge our students in the classroom. Our English teachers are working with Rick Anderson to improve their instruction in English 2 in the questioning stems. They are also visiting Early College High School and observing and meeting with their teachers and debriefing about lesson planning and grading as well. Biology, English 2, Math 1 and 3 are going to be offering study session boot camps the week before the actual testing to hopefully improve those scores. Northside has a lot going on in and out of the classroom. We consider ourselves the best side, and I cannot say enough good things about what we're doing and where our students are heading.
Thank you, Ms.
Awesome.
Nixon. Thank you for what you do, and you're doing a great success. I see it every day. I hear it in the community every day, and I hear it from your staff, so great job. Anybody else?
As always, you continue to meet those high expectations. Always. Thank you so much.
Anybody got any questions?
Just a statement, congratulations and well-deserved honor tonight.
Congratulations on the Best of Pamlico vote, too.
Thank you. Next up, from the south side of the river, a Seahawk, Mr. Justin Holt. Good evening, Justin. How are you?
Hey, sir, doing great.
Good.
Great. Always get to follow Tracy. What an honor that is.
You know that we always start on the north side of the river.
Well, that's just great to be a part of this community. So I'm going to just start with thank you for the opportunity to speak on our school improvement goals tonight.
We just said on that statement.
Again, just great to be part of this greater Beaufort County community, right? I want to reaffirm my commitment to leading Southside High School to serve families and better our community. And I also want to take this moment just to publicly thank the service and support of this Board of Education, the superintendent, central office staff, as well as the public body that lends its resources to support our students' positive growth and aspirations. So I'll talk tonight on an overview of Southside, some of our targets, some of the ways in which we aim to get there, and a little bit about the total school program. This year, Southside is sitting at 425 on enrollment, so that's pretty much on par as it was last year, about 10 students less. Southside's a very diverse school. We have 42% white students this year, 35% black, 18% Hispanic. Based on school performance data, our economically disadvantaged subgroup is actually about 62% of our student body. And that's going to be important when I talk a little bit more about some of our targets and methods to promote high academic achievement for all students. So in terms of school performance overview, I want to talk about our core, our EOC scores, of course. I want to talk about our CTE and our course rigor. As you guys know, the EOCs are measured at the high school level in 4 courses. 2 of those courses last year we had growth in. Math 1 grew in proficiency by 5 points, and Math 3 actually grew in proficiency by 20 points. Our biology and our English are 2 places that we do look to focus this year. We dropped by about 5 points in biology, English about 8 points. That's a trend we've seen sort of district and even statewide, and we aim to really go after that. We did meet growth this past year. 80% of our students met growth. I will note that the last 2 years we have exceeded growth, so that's going to be a target that we also look to get back to. We had closer to 86% of our students meeting growth the prior year. Our graduation rate will also be an area that we look to focus on. We dropped by a few points. We'll be seeking to approach 90% again this next year. I want to talk about our CTE program. Very strong CTE program across the district and at Southside. Very proud of the work they're doing. One measurement for that is our ACT work keys. Overall proficiency for those students was at 51%, but 60% of our kids scored a silver or better, which is a bit higher than the bronze meeting proficiency. We had over 1,000 industry credentials, something we're very proud of our students for achieving and our staff for instructing. Of course, that includes welding, construction. In our construction classes, we have a lot of hands-on projects that we're very proud of. Also, we have regional leading scores in our health sciences department. We have our specialized fire academy. We're really growing our horticulture and ag programs. And we've also introduced drone programming and look to continue to build that as we recently got a certification for our drone instructor. I will say that last school year, in the fall, 75% of our school was participating in a CTE course. So something that we're really proud of. Just talking about overall course rigor, we do offer 3 advanced placement courses in-house. As you guys know, we have a really strong partnership with BCCC. We're really proud of that. We have brought a business pathway to Southside. So we have an intro course and a pathway that will result in the completion of a business certificate. This year we have over 60 kids. That's 30% of our upperclassmen taking BCCC courses, either through Information Highways, online, or in person. So let's talk a little bit about our targets. High academic achievement for all students is our target. As I've already said, we want to get back to exceeding growth. We also want to move our school performance grade no less than 3 points to achieve a letter grade of a B. And then we want to support a safe learning environment and promote student aspirations for post-secondary plans, commonly captured in enrollment, enlistment, or employment. How are we going to get there? Our instructional focus and instructional expectations are that our lessons will target rigor. We will have grade level tasks in reading, writing, and math. We'll be looking to have skills at the appropriate complexity for student growth, student proficiency. We will seek to utilize personalized learning. In fact, the district tool of IXL is something that we're looking to implement to help achieve that target. We will, of course, also engage in after-school tutoring as well as intervention time to meet personalized learning needs. I want to talk about student engagement and behavior expectations. We are cultivating a sense of family at Southside High School, and quite frankly, we have zero tolerance for behavior that disrupts the learning environment. So that may include bullying, but any sort of disrespect for others, staff, or students. We are looking to make sure that we serve all kids, so I want to get back to that economically disadvantaged subgroup. We are helping staff to implement trauma-informed care. This will enhance staff skill sets to serve all kids. So we're partnered with ECU, a couple professors over there, for our first learning cycle in trauma-informed care. We also have started a Bright Future Site Council this year, partnering with some area businesses. I'll talk a little more about that in the Total School Program and faith-based organizations. We also applied for and received a rural education grant that will help us support that work. That's also through ECU. Student services is another leg that helps us to achieve serving all kids. Our student services team implements lessons to support conflict resolution, stress management, and of course, help support mental health of our families and students. Our student services team also helps to expose, even in the 9th grade, our kids to Beaufort County Community College. Our student services team, as well as with our teachers and administrators, we're seeking to help our kids have post-secondary aspirations that are really high. So that's going to happen in College Month, our career fair, both this month and next month as we work through 9th through 12th grade to prepare our kids for the real world. In terms of the Total School Program, in athletics this year, I want to just say that we're committed to a tighter focus on accountability when it comes to our student athletes and their grades and the expectations we have. We too have a strong extracurricular set of clubs, the FFA, Beta Club, Math Club, Skills USA, the Art Club. Our band is outstanding. FCA met just a week or two ago, and approximately a third of our student body was at the FCA meeting. We were proud of that. Again, in terms of our professional learning cycles, I've mentioned trauma-informed care, mentoring students, leveraging interventions for student achievement, promoting literacy across content areas. And finally, I just want everybody to know that Southside, we're a hub of the community. So we invite churches, businesses, community leaders, and families to get involved to promote these goals. And that's all I have.
Justin, thank you. Your work over there doesn't go unnoticed. I've gotten to know you over the last couple of years, and you're doing an outstanding job over there. And I love how you involve the community and the faith-based community and the trauma care. That's awesome. You're meeting those kids where their need is. So,
Thanks, sir.
I love visiting your high school. It's really it's a very nice family atmosphere when you come in, and your students are very respectful to guests, and the staff is very welcoming, and sometimes that's the most anybody can hope for on a daily basis, but what you all do is go beyond that. So I want to thank you for the great job you and your staff are doing. It is a family affair, and not to sell any principal short, that's what I see when I visit any school. So anybody that wants to say something negative about Beaufort County schools, they're going to have to go through me, because it's just not true. Y'all are doing a great job.
Don?
Yeah, I wanted to compliment Justin too, and I didn't want to cut any other principals out either. But Justin has such a welcoming personality when you go and visit his school. He's so upbeat, and thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Thanks, sir.
And I know that's contagious with your students.
That's right. Try to be.
Anybody else?
Thank you so much, Mr. Hope, for how you have opened your doors for the community. I get great calls about really
Wonderful.
the hospitality that's shown to them while that they're at the school, and I'm so proud of that.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else? All right, Justin. Have a good evening, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, 7.3, back to the stage, Dr. Swenson from the one and only in the whole country, Pam Pack.
Not another one.
No more Pam Packs.
There is no more Pam Pack. There's only one.
That's right.
Oh, we get a handout?
All right. Just to follow along.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
He's trying to keep us involved. Thank you, sir. Be a
Sorry, sir.
test.
Thank you.
Okay, better pay attention then.
Both of those are very hard to follow.
I understand, but I have faith in you that you'll do a
Tough.
great job.
All right, I have a handout.
Yeah, you had a handout, Tracy and Justin. He
I
had a
didn't have a
handout.
handout. Yeah. This is my first year back at Washington High School. I was previously principal over at D.H. Conley. Washington High School currently has 807 students. We have 54 total faculty right now. And let me just say this, just off the sheet. It's been a wonderful start at Washington this year. Really has. Hallways are clean, clear. Students are going to class, doing what they're supposed to do. Certainly it's a regular high school, but great faculty. I've had a great start with them. I've got a lot of experienced leaders still left in the building, and then I've got a lot of younger developing leaders that we're working with in our PLCs and school improvement team. Some of our foci for this year, critical learning environments. We want kids to be involved in the classroom, engaged in the classroom. If me and Mark are in the same classroom and I say something faulty, he should be able to raise and say, well, that's not right. Have me justify and defend my position, because that's how the students learn. They're not going to learn by just sitting there listening to somebody present. So we're working on that at Washington High School. Problem-solving teams, one of the things that I like to focus on is not just the overall what we're working on, but the students that we're working with. So if you've got students in your classroom, if you don't identify who needs help and provide that help to them, then they're just not going to get it. So in the problem-solving teams that we've got in place now, we started with our core. We're starting to identify those folks and see, kind of like a mastery task list, talking to Dr. Cheeseman the other day about some of those topics. What specific objectives are they not getting? Which ones are they getting? Which ones are they not? Which ones can we work with? And how are we connecting with the community and stakeholders to help them along? Accountability. Our current focus cycle is questioning and discussion, goes right back to critical learning environments. We want teachers planning for the classroom. We want teachers having these questions ready at the top, not just right off the front lobe, but to have it already written down and ready to go for the students. Otherwise, all you get is lower level questions 24/7 the entire semester. Looking at growth of teachers, I love the data. I think there is a lot to say about the data, and I think more people need to know about it. And here's what I mean by that. When you're talking about the scores, which I'll get to in a second on the backside, you've got subgroups within all of these categories. And if the teachers don't know which students fall in the subgroups and who we need to target and work with, then you're never going to move those subgroups. And so in order to get to that point, you have to have your teachers understanding that. Some of them do already. I don't mean to dismiss. But the ones who don't, the younger teachers, need to be brought on board to see what this data means, what it pertains to, and how we can use it in the classroom. Of the students, several things for high school students. Some of you know this already. Ninth graders come in and they don't realize there's no more social promotion. You got to go to class. You got to get a credit. You got to get your credits early or you fall behind really quickly. So we work with students on a daily basis to remind them that you're on a 4-year program, not a 7-year program, and you got to get your credits now. And we try to stay with them. And same with moms and dads. We contact them. I was talking to my wife the other day about something that came up about making one positive phone call a day, at least one positive phone call a day. So we're starting to push that in the building right now. Of assistant principals, same thing with the business rules. If an assistant principal wants to be a principal, then they need to understand the business rules for accountability and what drives the school in the public's eye. And so understanding of the master schedule build goes right along with that. That's kind of the Bible going forward. If you don't have that built early enough and you don't have that in good condition, then you're looking for a not so great start of the year typically. All right, Initiatives that we're looking at, ACT course push. We were at 12.5% ACT proficiency last year, unacceptable. So we need to start working on ACT course push now. What we're going to do is really going to kick off next year because I did not have enough time to put this in place. Kids had already registered for courses, but going in this year, we're having planning sessions on ACT, how we're going to implement this, and how we're going to get a course back in place. Ensuring our AP program stays rigorous and intact. Right now, we have 7 AP classes. Next year, I intend to bring AP seminar in place and make Washington High School an AP capstone school. And what that means is that students who get this seminar course, which is a year-long, pretty much just a lit review, research-based writing course, and they get the research course and they pass 4 additional courses that are AP with a score of 3 or above, then they get an extra certificate on their diploma. Looks very good on a college application. It looks very good for the rigor of those students going into university. AP pre-calculus is another one that I want to bring on board next year. I will say that when I looked at the math schedule for this year, there was not as many AP and honors courses, and I feel like in a high school you need to offer those. You need to give opportunities for all your students to take those courses, and you need to give them an outlet if they get into it and it gets a little bit too rigorous so they can drop down a level and still be successful. Marketing of CTE programs, have a outstanding CDC in place, works very hard out there, outstanding CTE group. We were on WCTI, I think it was WCTI the other day for our boat building, built the first sailing vessel for Kevin Clancy's sailing school downtown. That was a very good output for us. I enjoyed seeing that. Teacher cadet. Before I left, we had teacher cadet. I don't know if COVID took it out or what took it out, but it's gone, and I want to get it back. We look every summer trying to find teachers. You talk about folks coming back to Beaufort County. This year, we're working with Ms. Tucker on trying to get Future Teachers of America in place as a club this year, and next year getting the courses back in place for teacher cadet. And if you'll flip over, board members, if you don't mind, this is where we sit with our data. Now, highlighted in yellow and the blue down at the bottom, that's just projections for the coming years. That's not exactly where I want to be. That's just where we need to be at a minimum to reach that C and a B. And we're looking, if you look down at the bottom, let me just switch to this, and I'm probably running out of time. If you look down at the bottom, highlighted in red, that's our growth. And I don't know, I'm sure you guys know a ton about data, but 100% of your growth on a normal curve falls between negative 3.49 and 3.49 on the curve. We're minus 12. And I highlighted that to all my folks in the first faculty meeting that we had, not as a disparaging moment, but just this is where we're at, and we've got to pull that out. And so we're working on growth in the building. We're going to try to make proficiency where we can, but that growth is #1 priority for us this year at Washington. That's all I got. Sorry.
No, you're good.
That's great.
Dr. Swinson, welcome back.
Thank you.
You are great to be back in the building, and thank you for what you do. Thank you for your assertiveness and your leadership and at Washington High School. So, anybody else? Don?
Yeah.
Dr. Swinson.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I've got a quick question.
All right.
Unfortunately, given what happened just before graduation last June, prank night, I guess my question is there a strategy to deter that from happening this year? It was said in the newspaper that that's a tradition. They always do that, trying to justify what they did.
Right.
So I'm just curious.
I can tell you right now, I was here 5 years before at Washington. It didn't happen when I was here before, and I can guarantee you it's not going to happen this year.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you and welcome back.
Yes, ma'am.
Great data. By great, I mean very thorough, which I expected nothing less, Mr. Data Man. Again, I enjoy going to all the schools. I am a Washington High School alumni, even though I didn't go to that school. But as far as bringing back teacher cadet, I have a quick question. If you have been a principal that received teacher cadets in the past, or if you were a teacher cadet, will you stand up? See, and a few years ago when you were here, almost every teacher would have stood up that received teacher cadets. It's such an important program, and it started off before I was on the board, the Grow Your Own program, is that what it was called?
That's right.
And so if we expect our young people to come back here and settle and buy homes and raise families and pay taxes, then I think things like teacher cadet, because there's so many teachers within our system that were teacher cadets at Washington High School. So I want to thank you for bringing that back.
Yes,
And,
ma'am.
and thank you, and I have full faith that these numbers are going to be different this time next year.
I do
really
too.
do. Thank you so much.
Just real quick, no, all I was gonna say is just thanks for what you're doing. I get, plenty of phone calls like every other board member, and the positive things that I hear about your school, change has already started. I'm not worried about, is it gonna start? It already has.
Good, glad to hear. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Swenson.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
All right, 7.4 from the Aurora community, Dr. Patricia Horton. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, Dr. Horton.
Good evening, Dr. Horton. How are you? Always got a smile.
I tried. First of all, I will thank you for allowing me to lead Snowden. It's been fabulous. Okay, now let me start my script. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to present our school improvement plan for the 2024-25 academic school year. Snowden is located in the very rural part of Beaufort County, and we are a K-8 school home to about 123 scholars. When you look at our student body makeup, we are about 69% is economically disabled, and 18% has some type of disability. Our demographics, 61 Black or African Americans, 6 Hispanics, 27 white, 27 two or more race, and 2 Native Indians. Our gender makeup is 59 males and 64 females. Our faculty consists of a principal, an assistant principal, school counselor, and an instructional coach. Thank you all for giving us those positions back this year. I love it. We have 1 teacher per grade level and an EC teacher. We shared a school social worker and a nurse with other schools within the district. We have about 13 teachers and 6 teacher assistants. We offer 5 encore classes, which is CTE, Paxton Patterson Lab, Media in the Media Center, STEM, Music, and Health and PE. According to the North Carolina Accountability Model, Snowden has been designated, as you know, as a low-performing school. Although we have that title, we are moving in the right direction. Last year, we grew 8 points in reading and 4 points in math, and moved from a 44 to a 47 on our school report card grade. We actually met growth in math and reading. Previously we were a D in reading. We're still a D, but for the last 2 years we were an F in math, and we met growth this year, so we were super excited. This year, we plan to increase our score by 4 points, which keeps us in line with the growth rate of the state, as well as the growth that we have made over the last 2 years. How do we plan to do this? We plan to be very, very intentional. Mr. Wade and I strive to be in every classroom every day. When we complete a walkthrough, we use a Google form, and we email that Google form to the teacher before we even leave out of the classroom. And during their planning, either that day or the following day, we follow up with verbal feedback. Our professional learning cycles will focus on the depth of knowledge, ensuring that all teachers know how to ask and write level 2 and level 3 questions. And we're utilizing the book Destructing Depth of Knowledge that Mr. Anderson is using with the assistant principals. We are also looking at the verb in the standards and applying Bloom's taxonomy. We have also incorporated school-wide interventions into our daily schedule, as well as incorporated Dear Time, which means drop everything and read. During this time, middle school students are reading a book of their choice, but K-5 teachers are reading to their students. The IC is available weekly for lesson planning, assessing data, and providing whatever support the teachers need. In grades 4 and 5, she has vertical planning meetings during their planning periods one time a month, but in K3, she's planning with she has vertical alignment meetings weekly, and those include the IC and Ms. Owens. And thanks to Ms. Whittington and her team, we have been able to complete 2 walkthroughs at CPS so far this school year. The IC, along with the K-5 teachers and TAs, have had a great experience with their teachers. Our team is excited to have this partnership. During our first parent night, teachers walked through their daily schedule with parents. Parents had the opportunity to see Haggerty, Read and Horizon, Wonder, Study Sync, Envision, and Bridges. We had some parents to ask teachers to demonstrate math equations. We also plan other events to increase our parent involvement. This year, teachers are contacting parents if a student is 2 or more grade levels below in any subject, or if they are failing 2 core classes at progress report time. Parent-teacher conferences will be held every 9 weeks. The goal is to ensure parents are aware of their child's progress. We are also encouraging students to read nightly for 20 minutes and practice their multiplication facts 1 through 12. As far as community involvement, on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock, families and communities are welcome to come to the school and conduct walkthroughs just to see the great things that are happening at Snowden. Community members have joined together to reestablish PTO as well. We have a strong partnership with our Bright Futures Council, and they are working hard to support our school as well as several churches and community members. I'm truly happy with the direction that Snowden is moving in. Thanks again for allowing me this wonderful opportunity. Any questions?
Thank you again, Ms. Horton, for what you do down there. You're doing a great job. And I do have one quick question. You're fully staffed now, right?
Yes.
Nice. All right, sweet. Anybody else got a question?
I have a quick question, Dr. Horton. A friend of mine works at Nutrien and had made the comment, maybe about, I was at a meet and greet or something, and made the comment they're struggling, as are many companies, to find dependable help. Not that this has a direct impact on you, it probably affects Justin more, but one of his comments were, it's obvious we're going to have to get to these students earlier than high school, because at high school sometimes they've already set their mind on what they want to do, even if they're not successful in some of their classes.
Right.
And he wasn't quite sure. He asked me as a board member, you know, he said, what do you think you can do within the Aurora community or the Chocowinity community so we can start preparing some of these students as early as possible about how they could get a really nice paying job at Nutrien? And I said, well, you would have to talk to Dr. Horton and Mr. Holt, because I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know what you would need to do, whether it is classes or a concentration within a class you already have. And I didn't know if he had contacted you, but you can both expect a call. Okay,
Yes.
That, because I don't want to use the word desperate, but they really are looking for help. And some of the jobs require 2 or 3 years of book and then physical training, and some of it doesn't. And he said, I think there's too many young people that think, oh, I can't do all that, when in essence, he said, we will hire you right out of high school and we will train you because we want you to do it our way. but it's getting them to want that. And that may be something in 7th and 8th graders that you can prepare them that when they get to Southside, this may be an opportunity for them. Because those are good paying jobs at Nutrien.
Yes, well, when Ms. Hamill, she brought Paxton Patterson Lab to Snowden, what I did was how I picked out the modules were, one, what were things that would align with what's going on at Southside. And then I looked at what are some job opportunities at Nutrien. So our Paxton Patterson Lab, we have like the simulated welding, we have like home maintenance. The reason why I chose home maintenance, because the students can't go to grandma's house or a neighbor's house to change an outlet or a light switch or a doorknob that they learned in school. And they're saving grandma or somebody money from paying somebody else. However, grandma or the neighbor may give them $10 in their pocket. So I looked at stuff like that because I know that all students are not going to college.
Right.
But learning home maintenance, that is an avenue for a business. Learning AutoCAD, something like that is something that they would need in the manufacturing sector. So I looked at things that if the students were not going to college, and they were going straight into the workforce, what is some stuff that we can offer right here at Snowden that would align where they can graduate with a certificate from the high school, or they can go in ready and having some knowledge of AutoCAD? Because my husband, he works at Thermo Fisher, and before then,
Right.
he worked at Heister Yale. And he would come home and I would hear like some of the things that they were doing. But then when I flipped through the book of modules, I remember what he was saying that they used on his job and picked out modules that would go with that. So kids can be hireable when they graduate, as well as have some type of insight about it. Just
Right.
that little
Right.
knowledge.
I think that's wonderful. And to get them, he even suggested in some of their job descriptions that it would be something that he would visit Snowden and CMS and Southside to kind of steer kids that want to learn a trade in what he would like for them to put a concentration on, if that would be their desire. I mean, what I didn't know is the average salary for a plumber is $87,000. There's not a lot of people in Beaufort County that make $87,000, but that's the average salary for a plumber. Now, I don't want to be a plumber,
Right.
because that's really, really hard, time-consuming work. But when I questioned him on that, he said, you've got to understand that a plumber will make a weekend call and never leave a house for less than $250. And most of the time that goes in their pocket. So you multiply that by several weekends in the year, and they've made several $1,000s. There's not a tax man in here, is there? That they're not reporting. But I'm just saying that's something, he may be contacting you because they are wanting to reach out and get some employees in the pipeline.
Anybody else?
That would be, if I can hook them up with Vanessa Oden, she's our CTE person.
Okay.
So she would love that. We could even do a tour
Okay.
because we did that at Grady White last year, so I'm sure we can make it
I
happen.
remember when you all went to Great.
Yes, we can make it happen this year.
Tom?
I just want to comment, I think the kids would love that too. Vocational
Yes.
things. Our kids need some of that instead of everybody wanting and needing to go to college.
Right.
That's a missing trade.
Yes.
Anybody else got anything?
I know it's great that y'all are fully staffed this year, but Ms. Rattler, I think, is still doing double duty, right?
Well, we have someone coming.
Oh, that's good to know.
So she's been hired. We're waiting.
She's very capable, but
Yes.
she was doing double duty at last I saw.
Yes, Ms. Moore, she was approved at the last board meeting, but she works for Pitt County Schools, and of
Right.
course, it's in the middle of a school year, so they can hold her for 30 days, so.
Right.
Just like we would probably hold somebody for 30 days, they're doing the same.
The other thing, at the beginning of the year, I was kind of do an inventory with some of the teachers particularly in this case, in the middle school. And I see you've got a lot of maps, but I think, maybe I'm an antique social studies teacher, but it seems like you need some big ones, though. Is that something we could help you with?
Well, honestly, I don't think that we need the larger ones because everyone has a Chromebook. And with everybody having a Chromebook and
I knew you were gonna say that.
And I think about Google Maps where you can actually zoom right in and like see it. You're not just seeing it on paper, you're actually like zooming into a community and things like that. So I don't really see the need for the maps.
Well, there'd
because
probably
we
be
have
more of a
that.
need for the map if I was the instructor.
Oh, probably so.
Probably so, yeah.
All right, thank you, Dr.
Thank
Horton.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next up, the Eastern Elementary School Principal, Ms. Taylor.
Got 2 more years to call it Eastern, right?
Good evening, Ms. Taylor.
Good evening. Okay, are you all ready to talk about the little ones now?
Let's go.
We're ready.
We've been talking about older ones, but I want to talk about the little ones we have at Eastern now. We don't have any official sports program, sorry. But if you
Thank
want to see
goodness.
the sweetest smiles in the world or get a little sweet side hug, come out to Eastern. So Eastern Elementary is a pre-K through first grade school. We currently have 493 students at our school. 87 of those are preschool. So we have almost 500 little ones out at Eastern. This school year we have 10 kindergarten teachers, 13 first grade teachers, 5 preschool classrooms, and 4 exceptional children's teachers. Eastern also qualifies as a school-wide Title I school. So with our Title I funds, we have 3 literacy and math interventionists who also help to coach and train our new teachers. We have 1 behavior assistant who provides Tier 2 and Tier 3 behavior interventions. So in the comprehensive plan report that you all received, you've probably looked at our school improvement goals. I'm very excited to share our school improvement plan with you. After looking at our data this summer, we had 2 SIP meetings this summer. The team decided that 2 out of 3 of our goals needed to be focused on increasing academic rigor in literacy and math, and our 3rd goal is to increase family engagement at our academic events. So I want to talk a little bit about those goals. The first goal that I want to talk about is the literacy goal. We've been working really, really hard the last few years to implement evidence-based practices in the classrooms. For literacy, our school-wide goal for the last 2 years has been to have at least 75% of our students reach grade level proficiency, and we've met that goal. We hit 76% for the last 2 years. And that's using, so we don't give integrate tests to kindergarten and first graders, but that's using the DIBELS, the state mandated DIBELS reading assessment system. So this year, we are increasing that goal to 80%. Wow. That's our goal this year, is to hit 80% proficiency by the end of the year. To do this, we remain diligent in holding weekly professional learning community meetings where all of our certified staff are required to attend, even our special teachers. We've been very successful in implementing the Reading Horizons and Haggerty programs, which provide explicit instruction in developing those reading foundational skills. One thing that we do also to ensure fidelity is our admin team does fidelity checks, and we do those daily. So if you come out to our school between 8:30 and 10 o'clock, a lot of times you'll find us in classrooms, looking at kindergarten and first grade teaching Reading Horizons. And following the multi-tiered system of support, we have a solid reading intervention program that serves our students needing supplemental and intensive support in reading. Our second improvement goal is to increase our overall percentage of students at grade level in math by the end of the year. For the last 2 years, we have seen strong growth. This past year, our goal was to hit 70% proficiency, and we went from 63 to 68% proficiency. So we're very excited about that. We didn't quite get to 70%, but we were honored. Some of you may have heard we were honored by meeting stretch growth in iReady. That's what we use with the little ones to assess growth. So we were honored. We were one of just a few schools in the nation that hit stretch growth. So we're very, very proud of that. It is our goal this year to hit that 70%. Of course, we would love for it to be higher than that. So this will be our second year using the Bridges curriculum resource to teach math standards. We're also incorporating our Ready lessons as a way to differentiate with the students. And again, we just hope to hit that above 70% proficiency with our students. Our third SIT goal is to increase family involvement and participation in family events. So what we've noticed out at Eastern, we've worked really, really hard the last few years to improve family relations, community relations, and so we've had a ton of special events. We like to post on social media a lot. You probably see them. And so when we were analyzing our data this summer, what we saw was that we have a high turnout for the fun events. If you come out to our VIP February, our dance in February, you're going to see a packed gym. So we see a high turnout for those types of events, but not as high turnout for our academic events. So that's our goal this year, is to have 70% of our families attend at least one academic event. And so we have 4 curriculum events and then 2 family nights that focus on academics. So that's our third SIT goal. So in order to meet all of our academic goals this year, we realize that we need to increase the rigor in instruction at Eastern. We've implemented 2 specific initiatives. One is our school-wide vocabulary plan. During our summer SIT meeting, I invited Beaufort County's early literacy DPI specialist, Denise Owens, to come talk with us and present the data around vocabulary. We learned that there's a trend of our students not performing well on measures involving vocabulary, and that this trend goes through, at least we're seeing up through 4th or 5th grade. So we put together a vocabulary plan that uses the science of reading literature to teach vocabulary. So that is one initiative we have going on. The other initiative is our STEM program. And it's really been exciting for me to sit back here and hear our high schools talking about STEM. Because we are very excited about STEM at Eastern. It's actually part of our professional learning cycle. This year, our teachers continue to work to learn how to plan and execute lessons involving critical thinking skills and adding components of STEM to their lessons, basically the engineering design process. So most of you probably have seen that we've had some of our STEM committee members present at clubs and different things, ways to raise money. We have the STEM lab that opened last year. So we've been working really, really hard on this. I get really excited about STEM for 2 reasons. First of all, developmentally at this age, students are just naturally curious and creative. So it is a great time to introduce anything to do with engineering design process and critical thinking skills. And then also that second part, the critical thinking process involved with STEM, just increases rigor in the classroom. If you want to observe a STEM lesson or conversation, you are going to see 21st century learning skills and it's at its best, and it's been amazing to see the conversations that our 5- and 6-year-olds are having in classrooms. So that's our second initiative that we've already had in place. We're just amping it up a little bit this year and working on hopefully applying for STEM School of Distinction before the end of the school year. So that is a summary of what we're doing with the little ones. And I also just want to say thank you so much for your support of Eastern Elementary. You all visiting the schools, our teachers, our students love to see it. Graduation. I mean, coming to our graduation, you guys were out there. I mean, Mr. Hickman was a trooper last year, and we have Ms. Walker and some others out there. Thank you so much for coming out this preschool and kindergarten graduations. They love to see you all.
It was a pleasure, a lot of fun.
Good.
It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's very infectious. And I was there for sorting day not very long ago, and I think I had on a black shirt, and I wasn't thinking about the colors in the houses. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you have to learn. But this little boy came up to me and grabbed my hand, and he said, "You must be Altruismo." And I had to think for a minute what he was talking about, and then I remembered that the Black House is Altruismo. And he said, "Come with me, I have to show you something." And I said, we were in the gym where there were almost every student, it seemed like, but I know it was only half your student body. So I walked over there with him, and he said, "Look at the Black House. aren't we perfect? And I said, yes, you are. You really are. But it's wonderful. Thank you for the excitement that you always feel when you go into Eastern. Your staff is very welcoming, and I always get a lot of hugs. I hope that continues. And just thank you. Please extend our appreciation for what they're doing. And if your school was graded, I just feel like you would be an A.
Thank you. We think so too.
Anybody else?
I'm just going to say you're very welcoming too when we visit. Thank you.
Thank you for building the foundation for those kids, get them kicked
It's
off.
very good to hear, it's such a great report and everything that you've got going on. And, you know, I continue to think about the building blocks as they go on to, you know, primary school, middle school. You're setting a solid foundation, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
All the elementary presentations we've got tonight, we're really proud of that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you.
And last but not least, John Cotton Taylor Elementary School, Miss Suzanne Brantley.
As Suzanne's making her way up, I just want to say we are so blessed in Beaufort County. I think we have the best principals in the state, and they're all in the best places doing the best job, and I'm so appreciative. I'm so proud of all of y'all.
Yes.
Go.
Thank you. How fitting for me to be able to follow Lisa Taylor in Eastern Elementary, because thanks to the work that they have done at their school, it makes our jobs a lot easier at our school. So let me start by saying how excited I am to be the principal of John Cotton Taylor Elementary School. The work of our staff and students over the past year has been astounding. Our reading proficiency score went from 36% in the 2022-23 school year to 43% in the 23-24 school year. Our math proficiency score went from 40% in the 22-23 school year to 46% in the 23-24 school year. We met growth in all of our subgroups. Our proficiency scores last year were the highest at JCT than they have been in the previous 3 years. Our overall school rating went from a 45 to a 42, just missing the change from a D to a C by 3. While I can't possibly say enough about all the hard work and dedication of our staff this past year and how I ooze with pride when I think of it, we're not done yet. This year, our theme was taken from last year's NC State's basketball team, Why Not Us? Why not John Cotton Taylor? Meaning, why can't we be that B school? Why can't our students achieve high expectations? Why can't our teachers show off their talents and skills? Our goals and game plan are simple. Our goal is to increase proficiency in reading to 50% and 53% proficient in math. Second grade students will increase proficiency from 65% to 70% as measured by in-class reading assessment data. We would also like to have participation by 50% of our families in curriculum nights, family events, and parent conferences. Again, our game plan is simple. We will continue to utilize our weekly PLC meetings to focus on student learning and aligned instruction. Each week during our PLC meetings, teachers unpack standards, create aligned assessments, and plan rigorous lessons. We will then analyze that data from those assessments and make adjustments accordingly. One of the areas that we would like to focus on this year is creating a more engaging and differentiated core. This means that during those weekly PLC meetings, we will work to find meaningful connections to the standards we are teaching. We're utilizing data to determine the areas of need and areas of extension for those students working at or above grade level. We will continue to utilize a school-wide intervention block each day. During this block of time, students will receive interventions in the area that is most needed by the student. We're utilizing all instructional assistants as well as our related arts teachers to provide these interventions. In our master schedule, we have included a time for our instructional coach to meet with these staff members to review weekly lesson plans for students. We will progress monitor those interventions and make adjustments accordingly. We will also implement an after-school tutoring program to support those scholars that need extra attention. John Cotton Taylor currently utilizes 2 reading interventionists that serve our well below students daily. We will continue to challenge our students academically and behaviorally. We're continuing to utilize our Ron Clark House system to encourage positive behavior. We will challenge students to achieve various benchmarks through the use of iReady, Lexia, and Reading Horizons. Various contests and challenges will be presented throughout the school year, and students who meet those challenges will participate in various rewards. John Contalo recognizes the need to get as many families involved in their scholars' academics as possible. We're working very hard in conjunction with our PTO and JCT's Bright Future Site Council to help host various family events, both academic and social, throughout the school year. We're also excited to see an increase in our student population at JCT. We currently have 183 third graders and 203 second grade students enrolled. We have created a STEM lab this year thanks to a generous donation by the Morning Rotary Club in Washington, and we're working diligently to grow STEM at JCT by integrating into our lesson plans so we continue building from Eastern Elementary School. We look forward to the amazing work by our students and staff this year, and we can't wait to celebrate with you all at the end of next year. And we invite you to come visit us anytime you would like. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Brantley. Thank
Yes.
you for everything you do out there. It's awesome. The board, y'all got any?
Just
No.
thank you, as always. I appreciate what you're doing.
Suzanne, what's the total number of students?
So we have 184 third graders and 203 second grade enrolled.
387.
Yes, sir. Why not us?
There you
And by the
go.
way,
I
we're
love it.
waiting for basketball season this year because football season, we're just gonna write off.
Yeah, they've been struggling.
Yep.
Making
Thank you.
excuses.
All right, board, moving on to the action part of the meeting.
I am very happy to say I make a motion, we approve all the school improvement plans
Awesome.
presented to us over the last 3 meetings.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. Williams.
I move that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statutes 143, 318, 11A1 to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files under General Statutes 115C, 321.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?